What's up, witches? Welcome to this week's weekly refuel session. If you don't know who I am Ali Kravitz, aka Bronx Witch. I am the founder of Witchwork, which is the only co-working space for spiritual practitioners in the Bronx, New York. That's where we are right now. And I am the CEO of, okay, I am the CEO of BetterWitch Coaching, which is a class and coaching platforms for baby witches that want to become better witches. I teach on topics ranging from spirituality to spiritual entrepreneurship. And what you are seeing right now is our live weekly coaching sessions inside of the bunker. The bunker is the private membership space that I created for my witchpreneurs. Specifically, it's a space for us to share ideas, to grow together, to network and connect, barter services, and get education. Because if you are a spiritual practitioner who is trying to grow a business around your talents and gifts, you probably weren't born with like a business degree in your pocket, some CEO uncle that can walk you through it. And there's probably a lot of information about business that you don't know. And that might make it difficult for you to actually offer your services to the world because you're struggling to figure out how to get clients, how to get customers, how to actually make money from what you do, how to build a buzz around who you are or increase your exposure in the world. And in our weekly refuel sessions, we talk about everything from business formation, how to set up your LLC, taxes. Last month was all about taxes. Before that, we were talking about trademarks and contracts. And we have some incredible bunker members. We're not all just a bunch of tarot readers running around with our heads cut off. There are some incredible professionals with great skills in the bunker. We have attorneys, we have SEO experts, we have CPAs and bookkeepers, and sometimes our bunker members will actually run the weekly refuels and answer your personal questions. So shout out to Taylor Tiemann, the contract and trademark attorney who is a member of the bunker who led one in February. Shout out to Karen Gargiso, aka the Money Witch, who led one of our weekly refuel sessions like a couple weeks ago and broke down all of the expenses that we should be writing off. Okay, honey. I set up a discovery call with Karen, okay, because I was like, ooh, I should be writing that off. Oh, yes. Let me have a meeting with you one-on-one. Okay. I'm looking forward to that meeting. So yeah, we've got a lot of great resources in the bunker, and I like to share this with my YouTube family so that you guys can get this education as well. But I definitely want you to consider becoming a member of the bunker because you're only getting a sneak peek at some of the types of education, information, and community that is happening there. And if you want to get the full experience, be able to chat with each other, all of that good stuff, then you're going to want to join the bunker. It's free to join for the first 7 days. So you can come in, take a look around, set up a call with me, totally free inside the bunker. You can set up a call with me. I can walk you through it and you can get to know this space, see if it's right for you before becoming a regular monthly member and taking advantage of all that we have to offer. So get into the bunker, witches. And this month, I wanted to focus all on turning things around for Q2. If you're not familiar with this terminology, the year is broken up into quarters. And financially, we usually talk about the year in quarters. Q1 is done. January, February, March. Can you believe it already? Q1 is done. Q1 might not have gone for you exactly how you had hoped. You might not have had as many customers. You may not have had as many readings. You may not have done as many sessions. You might not have grown your social media as much as you would have liked. And you might be feeling a little down about that, which is totally understandable. The first quarter of the year can be rocky. And I wanted to spend all of April teaching you different tips, tricks, and strategies that you can use in order to turn things around for Q2, because it is not too late. 2025 is not a wash, okay? We have 3 more quarters to go and plenty of time, not plenty of time, but time to turn things around for yourself. And there's just probably a couple of things that you're doing wrong right now that are preventing you from seeing the results that you are looking for. And the reason why I am so passionate about this is because I want to see a world where spiritual practitioners are able to do the work that they do. We would never ask a doctor to go and work a 9 to 5, 50 hours a week in order to afford to be able to heal people. And I don't see why we do that with spiritual practitioners. The work that we have done, the work that we do, the work that spiritual practitioners do is just as valuable, if not more. Many of the clients that come to me, I have a Reiki session later today. Many of the clients that come to me because they have gone to traditional doctors. They have looked at other solutions to their problems and they have not gotten any results. And that is often when people start turning to readers and healers and herbalists and shamans for alternatives because what they were told to try first did not work. So in many ways, that makes what we do even more valuable because it's usually the thing that fixes it when nothing else could. And I want to see a world where every reader and every healer is able to read and heal and not have to basically choose between doing that valuable work for the world and going to work to pay their bills. Those two things can come together. You can make a living from helping people. I am living proof of that. My clients are living proof of that. And there are some strategies and knowledge that I had to gain in order to figure out how to make that happen. And so now I'm really passionate about sharing what I have learned over the last 5 years building these businesses with the rest of you. Okay, so this month we're focusing all on that, how we turn things around from Q1 and really start putting ourselves out there as experts in our field, making our audiences basically fall in love with us and really want to be a part of what we offer. Because we're not the only healers, right? Many people have these abilities, are working on developing these skills. So how do you make sure that the people that would benefit the most from you know that you exist, know what you offer, and are prepared to pay for those things, schedule those things, etc.? So today, that is what we're talking about. Today's weekly refuel session is called Mindset Mastery, Charging, Marketing, and Niche Domination. And the reason why I titled it Mindset Mastery is because much of what is preventing you from having the reach that you are looking for has to do with your mindset. And I know this because that was the case for me. And I know this because it's the case for many of my clients. It's the very first thing that we talk about when you come on board with me, if you do. It's the very first thing that we talk about because it's super important. Now, don't believe the hype. You are not going to become a millionaire tarot reader because of a mindset change necessarily. Like, it's not like, oh, I changed my mindset and now, oh, everything just falls into place. There's work that you have to do, there's strategy that you have to employ. But I like to start with mindset because none of the other stuff is going to work or make sense if you don't first address some of the limiting beliefs that you probably have about yourself and about your work. So that's where we're going to start. I'm going to cover 3 points that if you start implementing them right now are going to turn Q2 around for you and immediately start increasing your reach and your revenue. But we're going to start with the mindset issue, your limiting beliefs. Okay. The first thing that I want to talk about when in regard to your limiting beliefs about yourself is that it's important to understand that even if you didn't grow up like in a particularly like religious environment or anything like that, that there are certain ideologies that have permeated our society, permeated how we think about things. You have probably heard the phrase, money is the root of all evil, or money corrupts. You have probably heard comments about oh, like, oh, are you an influencer? Like, influencer gets used as a dirty word. And regardless of like whether or not you subscribe to these views, words are spells. So when you hear them over and over and over, they cast a spell on you. They make an impact on you and how you see the world and how you see yourself. And a lot of us spiritual practitioners want to be able to do our spiritual work all the time, maybe even full time. We might want it to be our the job that we have. But at the same time that we say that we want that, we're walking around with these beliefs that there's something wrong with making money, that spiritual work and making money can't or shouldn't go together, or that we don't have enough experience in order to expect payment for the things that we do. And these types of beliefs are holding you back. And I could spend all of today's refuel session just talking about that, but I won't bore your head off with that stuff because I also want to get to the other strategy things I want you to employ. So, what I encourage you to do is to watch the last episode of the BetterWitch podcast, which is up on YouTube right now. I met with the author of Regenerative Business, the best business book I have read to date, by Sam Garcia. We sat down and we talked. And Sam is a regenerative farmer. She lives in Hawaii with her husband, and they have a beautiful property where they are doing regenerative agriculture. They are not just using organic chemicals and sustaining the earth, they're actually replenishing the earth, creating new topsoil, and showing the world how we can change our agricultural practices to undo the damage that we have done over the many years that humans have been on this earth. She took those principles and applied them to business and showed us how we can also regenerate ourselves with our businesses. And one of the first steps is to acknowledge that you have done damage to yourself. Society has done damage to you by convincing you that wanting to make money for the things that you do, wanting to exchange money for your skills and your talents is somehow a bad thing, and that you're wrong for even wanting to do that. So definitely watch that episode. Grab a copy of her book. It is absolutely phenomenal. It has literally changed my life. Like, I kid you not. It's changed how I see myself. I'm sleeping better. It's just amazing, 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 amazing to have somebody break this down like that. So definitely take advantage of that. Watch that episode. But I want you, however you do it, whether you watch the episode or not, I really want you to take a moment to look at your own limiting beliefs and ask yourself if you feel this way. Does money make you feel creepy? Does being honest about wanting to be famous or wanting to have a big social media following make you feel uncomfortable? Are you afraid to say that out loud? If so, then you need to address these views that you have, because the universe is non-judgmental. The universe is non-judgmental. It is not thinking about you. It is only responding to the shifts in energy. So if you're saying with your mouth that you want to make money from your spiritual practices and you want to be able to do it whenever you want, maybe even full time, but at the same time, your energy is showing that you actually feel really uncomfortable making money for what you are doing, or feel uncomfortable by being known for what you do, the universe is going to respond to the energy that you put out, not the words that you're saying with your mouth. It's going to move and shift in response to how you are moving and shifting. So if your energy is saying something other than what your mouth is saying, please know that the universe is going to give you something in response to that. Okay. So this is key. It has to be addressed if you expect for the universe to actually start giving you what you want. You have to be honest about what you want, and you have to unpack what you want and why you want it. One of the things that came up in Sam's episode was the idea of flipping the table. There are many of us spiritual practitioners who don't really like the capitalist system. We really don't like the whole money for profit type of idea. We would like to see a society that was more, maybe like more socialist in its construction, where products and services were exchanged, where we bartered more, where maybe people were provided with things like healthcare and food and housing, and therefore wouldn't need to get money in exchange for the work that they do for others because their basic needs were already met. You might wish that the world was like that. I support you. I have many of those same wishes. But guess what? We are never going to create that world if we are not even in the room where the decisions are being made. So if you want to flip the table, if you want to dismantle our entire economic system, if you want to get rid of a world where we have to work for money just to survive in the first place, the first step is to get a seat at the table. Because I promise you, the bad guys, the ones that are sitting at the table right now, they are not going to flip the table for you. Okay? They are not going to create a world where all of your needs are met. They want you to work for them and work to the bone to survive. It does not benefit them to create a world where you don't have to work for them in order to live. So if you have a problem with the capitalist world, the solution is not to stand outside of the room with an attitude talking shit about the people who are in it. The solution is to get in it so you can make a difference. That's what I'm trying to do. I want to see a change in my city, in my borough, in my world. And I realize that the people who are making decisions about my everyday life don't give a crap about me, but they don't have to because they're not sitting next to me. So I want to get in the room. I want a seat at the table so that I can turn to them and say, we're not doing it that way anymore. So when you think about the way our current economy is set up and you get all cringy and weird, don't stand on the outside with an attitude and try to not be a part of it. Instead, figure out how you can get into the room. And the gifts that God gave you are the tools that you can use to get into the room. All right. So I want you to see making money not as this weird, creepy, dirty thing, but as a tool that you can use to actually change the world into the version that you would like it to be. Money gives you access, it gives you power, it gives you influence. So use it, make it, use it. Okay. So start looking at money that way. Another important shift is to recognize that what you do is valuable. Our current patriarchal, very hyper masculine world really likes to focus around certifications and formal education. Please remember that our ancestors had no need for these things. Please remember that you are honoring your ancestors with the work that you do. And it does not matter that you don't have a certification or you don't have a white lab coat or you don't have a degree on your, wall or what have you. These things are nice, and these things will certainly make you appear more credible in certain spaces, but those things are not the reason why you are gifted. They are not the reason why what you do is valuable. Okay. So recognize that the work you do is valuable and therefore needs to be exchanged with real value in order for you to be able to keep doing it. And a particular certification or fancy letters at the end of your name are not the thing that make it that way. That has been put into place and into our minds intentionally. It benefits institutions that charge an unnecessary amount of money for us to believe that the only way for us to be valuable is to have a certification from them, a license from them, a title from them, a degree from them. And I'm not saying don't get education. This is education that you're getting right now. I am a huge fan of education. I am educating myself every day. I take every class I can. I read every book that I can on the topics that I want to be an expert in. Education is great. But education does not have to exist in one form. And it is not one form of education that makes me good at what I do. My results speak for themselves. My clients will tell you what I have done for them. And they could not care less whether or not I went to a formal institution for the things that I do. And that is why they pay me, because I bring them value and results. That's what people want. People do not buy your Reiki Master certification. They buy the result that your session has on their pain, their suffering, the troubles that they are having in their lives. So if you feel nervous about charging, or you feel hesitant about pricing yourself appropriately, and we're going to talk about pricing in a second, and like how to calculate that. But if you have nervousness around that because you feel like you have to get another certification, or you have to get another license or another degree before you can even begin to price yourself accordingly and hold yourself out as an expert in what you do, you might never get there. Okay. So it's time to adjust those two aspects of your mindset: how you feel about money and making it, realizing that it is not some dirty thing, but a tool that you can use to literally change the world, and shifting your ideas around what it means to be valuable, and recognizing that you are already valuable. The God given gifts that you have bring value to people's lives right now, and therefore value should be exchanged for them right now. Okay. Limiting beliefs. That's the first step. The second step to turning things around for the rest of the year and getting the reach and the revenue that you want and that you deserve is by identifying your niche, niching down, niche domination. What is a niche? A niche is basically just a specific area of interest or participation in a group, right? So we have like all of society, and then we have individual niches. We have people that are interested in kayaking. We have people that really like tea. And the more specific you can get with your niche, the better. I promise. One of the things that I see quite a bit with my one-on-one clients is a fear around niching down. And one of the first things that we do, whether you come on board with my 6-week program or my 6-month program, is we start with a exercise that I created called the REAL pitch, and it's spelled REEL pitch. And the reason I call it that is because people don't talk to each other nowadays. So you need to be able to identify your niche in a way that you could communicate in a reel on Instagram, basically. We used to call this the elevator pitch. But nobody meets each other in person anymore. You don't find yourself in the elevator with people as much anymore. So I have called it now the real pitch, which is how can you, in like 90 seconds or less, explain with clarity who you help, what problem of theirs you are able to solve, and how they can connect with you in order to get those solutions. The fear that spiritual practitioners have about niching down is that by doing so, they're afraid that they're going to limit the amount of people that they are appealing to. And therefore, they're going to have an even harder time getting the amount of clients that they need in order to be able to keep doing the work that they're doing. And I understand that concern, but it actually very much works in the opposite. Okay. The analogy that I use is a fishing analogy. If you are trying to catch salmon, there's a particular type of fish that you are trying to catch. One way that you could do it, the very general way, the way that most of you are doing it right now, is to take a big, heavy, giant net, drop it into the ocean, and spend all day dragging it through the ocean, hoping and praying that you catch a salmon somehow. At the end of the day, you're going to be exhausted, and you are probably not going to have a salmon in your net. You're probably going to have a whole bunch of little fish and crab and maybe an octopus and a bunch of weird stuff that you are not interested in. And when it comes to all of those little fish, yes, they might be food, but it's going to take you so much work to scale and debone and, process all of these little fish. And the amount of meat that you get in exchange for that is going to be very little, which means your meal at the end of this very long, stressful day is going to be very little. You are going to be hungry. You're going to be malnourished. You're going to be depleted. And you're going to barely have enough energy to get back out and do it again tomorrow. It's a recipe for disaster. you are going to give up. You're not going to have a choice but to give up because the amount of energy and work that you are exerting does not match the payoff. Okay. And you need that payoff. Can't give from an empty cup, right? You need to be replenished for all that work. So, doing it this way, being really general, casting a big wide net for any and all fish and hoping that you get the right fish for you is not the best way to do it. Instead, if you went to a stream where you know salmon are swimming, you took bait that you know salmon loves, and you cast not a big giant net, but just one single line into the stream with that yummy piece of salmon bait, you will have a salmon in no time. No time. You will have a nice big fish that can feed you today, maybe even for a couple of days. You could keep fishing with the rest of your day, or you could tap out early. You have freedom. You have time freedom. You get to decide how often you fish because when you do it, the reward is enough to sustain you. This is a much better way to serve the community that you are interested in serving in while being replenished enough so that you can keep doing it. Niching down is the equivalent of going to the stream with a specific piece of bait and casting it out directly in front of the people that you know need it. So, overcoming, and this is why I start with mindset, overcoming your fears around, oh my gosh, if I'm too specific, if I say I help these people with this problem, that means I am excluding all of the rest of the world. And oh no, that means I'm not going to have enough clients. It actually works in the exact opposite. The clients, the customers that come to you are the ones that value you because they want exactly what you have. They will jump right on the line because you gave them what they had and you put it in the place where they were looking for what they needed. So niching down helps immensely. In order to identify your niche, you first want to ask yourself, who are the people that I really want to help? What do they look like? Where do they live? And then ask yourself, what are their problems that I can solve? Because when people have problems, they go looking for solutions. So when you know what the problem is and how you solve it, immediately without guessing, you know where they're looking for solutions. And identifying your niche in this way is so, so, so helpful, especially when it comes to our marketing of ourselves. Now we're not sitting at a blank screen while we're making our website trying to figure out what to say about ourselves. We're not looking at our offerings trying to figure out what services should I provide. Do I need to provide tarot reading and Reiki healing and herbalism and consulting and sound baths and meditation? No, I don't. I need to offer what the people that I want to help need in order to solve their problems. So this stops you from offering 57 services, 80,000 products, and driving yourself crazy. It allows you to give exactly what those people need. Then it tells you about how to market yourself. Because now the question of where do I promote myself? Do I have to be on TikTok and Threads and Instagram and Facebook and YouTube and ads in Google and ads in my neighborhood and at every event? No. Because when you know who your niche is, you know what their problem is, then you know where they're likely to look for those types of solutions. And you can put yourself there and only there. I'm not on TikTok because my target is not looking for the solutions that I provide on TikTok. But they do look for them on YouTube. I'm on YouTube. And when I realized that, it relieved so much stress because there is so much stress and pressure to be everywhere doing everything. When in reality, you might only need to be in one place because the solution that you offer is one that people look for in one place. So, identifying your niche, I promise you, as scary as it might seem, to stop talking in general. I do Reiki for anybody dealing with, I offer readings to anyone who has just lacks clarity. These really general, fuzzy words that don't tell people anything is the equivalent of just dragging a giant, heavy net through the ocean every day and praying for a salmon. When you say, I offer Reiki services for social justice warriors who need to recover from all of their protest work and activism, oh my goodness. And guess what? If I'm not a social justice worker, I don't necessarily do a lot of protests, but I'm just really stressed out about what's happening in politics in the world, I'm going to come to you anyway. People who don't fit your niche are still going to come to you. But by focusing in on your niche, you make your life so much easier. You make your message so much clearer, and you get to the people who value you faster. Then that frees you up to do a whole bunch of stuff that you would never have the time to do if you were wasting your entire day dragging the energy. Angie said, I would never have seen you if you were on TikTok. Yes, Angie's a bunker member. You would have never seen me, right? I put myself where the people that I want to help are likely to be looking for the solutions to their problems. Okay. So niching down is really important. So now we've covered two things: working on our mindset and identifying our target audience and being really clear about what problems they have, how we solve them, and allowing that to advise us about all of the other things that we do. It's going to change the game for you. You're not going to be guessing anymore. No more guessing. Okay. The last thing we're going to talk about is pricing. All right. This is obviously a very important one. And again, just like with niching down, you'll see why I started with mindset. Because pricing yourself appropriately, yes, there's some education around that. I provide all of my clients, my 6 week and my 6 month one-to-one clients, with a pricing rubric that I have created where you can plug in how much you need to make every month and how many hours you can dedicate to your work. And it will basically allow you to calculate what you should be charging for each of your services. Okay, so there is a formula that you can apply, and education around proper pricing. But before you even get to that part, you first have to work on the mental block that you might have around the idea of charging in the first place and charging your proper value. Because I can almost guarantee you that if you are charging for the work that you do for people, you are probably charging too little. If you are basing your prices on things like what will people pay or what is everybody else charging, you are probably undervaluing yourself. These are not the questions to ask when determining your prices. And the reason why your pricing is so important is because if you get it wrong, you will be shooting yourself in the foot. If you get it wrong, you will essentially be doing the dragging the ocean with the big, heavy net. Okay. Let's use an example. If you need to make $3,000 a month from your spiritual business in order to actually have your spiritual business, and you are charging $30, I see that number a lot. So I think people are like just copying off of each other. If you are charging $30 for your 30-minute tarot readings, that means you have to get 100 booked and paid readings in a month. 100. Thank you, my love. Welcome, welcome. 100. I have been reading tarot for 23 years. I've been reading professionally for 7 years. I promise you, on my best month, I am not getting 100 readings. Because not only do I not necessarily have that type of response to my offerings from my audience, I don't have that time. If my readings are 30 minutes to an hour long and I need 100 of them in a month, that's 50 to 100 hours of me just doing readings back to back. That's like 2 to 3 full 8-hour work days per week of just doing readings. No lunch break, no bathroom break, just doing readings. If you are still working your 9 to 5, if you have kids, if you have a family to take care of, who the heck has that amount of time? So automatically, by picking this random number that you think people will pay, you have put yourself in a situation where you are guaranteed to exhaust yourself and give up. Because it's just not possible. It is just not possible. It is going to take a while, especially if your business is new, for you to ever get to a point where you can book 100 book clients in a month. And you might not ever get there because you're going to tap out before then. You're going to run out of money. You're going to run out of energy. You're going to run out of interest. And what can often happen, and I know some of you have been in this position, you can actually start to grow bitter and resentful and start to hate the very customers and clients and communities that you initially set out to help. You can become resentful. You'll feel yourself starting to say things like, oh, people don't want to pay for anything. Oh, they don't care about this. Oh, I've worked so hard for this. And you start to become bitter, right? Yes, I know. Because I've been there. I love my people now because I have the right people around me. But for a while, it was starting to get to the point where I was like, yo, I'm pissed. Like, what I offer the world is incredible. Incredible. The results, the feedback that I get from the clients that I do book is unbelievable. And once they come to me, they stick with me like for life. But I can't seem to get people to sign up. I can't seem to get people to pay. And it was really making me resentful and bitter. And what I realized was, as much as people might say, oh, I don't have the money for that. Oh, I need things to be free. Oh, I need things to be low cost. The truth of the matter, and you can be mad at me if you want for saying this, but unless you've actually had the experience that I have had, I'm really not interested in your opinion. This is coming from real life experience. When you give people things for free, they do not value it. Sorry. That's the truth. They will tell you to your face, swear up and down that they don't have the money for something, and then go out and buy the newest Telfar bag or Beyonce's concert tickets without even blinking an eye. If you make everything donation based, if you make everything $5, $10, $20, if you make everything free, you are going to grow bitter and resentful. You are going to tap out and stop offering your gift to the world. And those people are going to march right along with their everyday, spending tons of money on shit that's never going to do for them what you could do for them. Don't believe the hype. They don't need it to be free. They don't need it to be cheap. When you do, they immediately subconsciously assume that it is lacking in value and they don't take it seriously. I promise you. Now, does that mean you can never offer things for free? You can never do things for donation. You can never offer a scholarship or a discount no, not at all. But the more successful you are, the more you are able to give away. The more you're able to give away. Because I am able to book clients who value what I do and charge myself accordingly, this year I was able to give a scholarship. Shout out to you, Minda, the founder of Root and Rise Up. I was able to give a scholarship for my 6-month program, which usually costs $5,880, almost $6,000. I was able to give her that. And I'll probably do it again in the middle of this year. I think I want to do a scholarship client every 6 months. I can do that. I could never have done that if I kept giving everything away for free, doing donation based and charging the absolute bare minimum and undercutting my own value. Because I charge what I am worth, because my results speak for themselves, and I've addressed some of these limiting beliefs that I had, because I've identified my target audience and I know what they are willing to invest in getting to the next level in their business, I am now able to do things like turn around and give somebody a $6,000 package for free. Okay. Got a cool comment coming in here from Derby City Tarot. I'm somewhat a fan of capitalism, and I've been told about the downside of emotional attachments to business. I kind of feel like if and when my channel doesn't grow, it's time to move on. I think that that's a great comment. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I do think that we have like emotional involvements in our business, and there's nothing wrong with that. Spiritual practitioners are different. We are doing what we do because we are emotional, because we're empathic, because we feel what people are going through. And I would say to your point that I don't know that I've detached my emotions from my business, but what I've come to realize is that my emotions are not in control of me or my business. My emotions are not real. They're chemical responses to external stimuli. So they're not real. Right? And so I can't allow them to control me. I am not a slave to my emotions. I control me. And my emotions are there. I allow them to help me to be empathetic, to be a human, to have compassion for others, but I don't let them run the show. Okay? I don't let them run the show. Okay, good. I'm glad you like that. Yeah, I think that's really the thing. Is to acknowledge them, not throw them out the window like the bad guys who are like, emotionless. I have emotions. If you want to know how much emotions I have, become one of my one-on-one clients. I promise you, we are going to cry in our sessions at some point. Okay? Because I'm emotional. I'm a Leo. All right? I'm emotional. But I don't let my emotions control me. I realized that I'm only going to be able to help people if I price myself accordingly. All right. So pricing is important. It shouldn't be random. It shouldn't be based on these ideas of like what people will pay. There is a formula that you can apply to calculate what you should be charging. But even before you get to that point, you have to address the limiting beliefs you have around charging your worth in the first place. All right. And realize that the prices that you have chose, and do the math for yourself. Do the math for yourself. You all have prices. If you're in this room, you have a business of some kind, you have a practice of some kind. What are your prices? Now ask yourself, how much do I need to make every month in order to keep doing this realistically? And then I want you to divide that number by what you're charging and see how many clients you need to book in a month. You probably have never done that calculation. You probably picked a price that you felt comfortable with and never asked yourself, wait, how many people do I actually have to book at this price in order to like make a living? So do that calculation for yourself. It's going to shock you. And you're going to realize that you have set up your prices in a way to destroy you. Okay. And people don't like when you raise your prices on them. So it's better to come out the gate with the right price, because you can always bring it down. You can always offer a scholarship. You can always run a sale, right? But it might be a little bit harder to keep your audience if you raise your prices on them. This is perfect. I'm currently not charging because I'm really just beginning building my following. Stop that. Stop that. Your following is not what makes what you do valuable. Say it with me. My following is not what makes what I do valuable. Okay. And that's very much a social media thing that we have gotten into our minds, that I am more valuable the more people that follow me. Absolutely not. You are valuable because your God given gifts are capable of helping people with problems that they have in their lives. That is why you are valuable. And that is why you should be charging. Okay. Derby City Tarot, you should definitely consider joining the bunker so that we can talk about that further. I'd love to sit with you one-on-one to talk about how to start charging and how much. Your following means absolutely nothing. You go to the doctor every year, right? Your doctor ain't on the gram. You didn't pick your doctor because of how many YouTube subscribers they have. You picked your doctor because you feel like they will probably not kill you. That's why you pay them, to not kill you, to heal you. Their value does not come from their following, and neither does yours. Start charging today, but do it smartly. Okay. Hop into the bunker. I'll be happy to share with you my pricing rubric. Okay. Or set up a one-to-one so we can talk about how you start charging and what that should look like. Okay. So, those are the three important parts of turning things around for the rest of the year for all of you. Working on your mindset, niching down, and pricing yourself accordingly. All right. Now, every one of you is in a different position, different space. You have different things going on. You're all unique. And all of this information has been very general. Applying this general information is something that you can do for yourself, but it might take you some time to get it right. If you want to speed up the process, stop trying to figure everything out by yourself. Link up with somebody who can look at your specific situation, your specific talents and offerings, and help you create a foundation that is going to generate reach and revenue and allow you to actually bring your God-given gifts to the world. You can do that in two ways. You can do that by joining the bunker. The bunker is free to join for the first 7 days. You get a free confirmation call with me when you join that you can set up at a time that works for you. You and I will sit just like this, one-on-one virtually. I will show you around in the bunker, introduce you to all the things that are in there that you can start taking advantage of immediately, and show you how you can work with me one-on-one. I offer individual sessions if you feel like, girl, I just need to talk about my pricing. Everything else is fine. Can we just sit down and look at my offerings, make them better, price them appropriately? We can set up an individual one-on-one session. Or you can become a client in my 6-week or my 6-month program, depending on where you are. My 6 weeks to launch program is great for folks that are just starting out. So this might be great for you, Derby City Tarot, where we go through your business foundation. We get your LLC set up. We talk about your marketing strategy. We help define your services and your offerings and what you're going to price them at. We might even work on your business name. Maybe your business name isn't super great or you don't have one yet. We'll work on all of that in 6 weeks. And by the end of that 6 weeks, you are going to be ready to launch or relaunch your business in a way that you know is confident to grow. If you've already been working on your spiritual business for some time and maybe things just aren't working the way that you need them to, or you've reached a level that you can't seem to get past, maybe you've got 20 clients every month and you can't seem to get past those 20 clients, then the 6 months to 6 figures program is better for you. This is where we're going to audit your business. We're going to find the holes and spots where things might not be working. We're going to fix those. And then we're going to implement better strategies and start automating things in your business so that these things are happening on the side. And I don't believe in the term passive income. It all takes work, but you're going to be able to not have to talk to every client every time, answer every email, respond to every comment on your social medias, et cetera, et cetera. We start to automate the things that you do so that you can focus on your business growth and expansion and not have to deal so much with like the day-to-day administrative things. So those are 3 ways that you can work with me: individual sessions, my 6-week program, or my 6-month program. And basically, if you're not sure what any of those things are all about, you can schedule a confirmation call, which is a consultation that is linked down below for you, or you can join the bunker. You'll also get basically a confirmation call for free by joining the bunker. And you also have access to the 90 or so other witchpreneurs that are in the bunker, and they are phenomenal. We have attorneys, we have CPAs, we have SEO experts, we have physical therapists and massage experts in the house. Okay, Fox is over there. Okay, owner of Kitsune Wellness, bunker member extraordinaire. Okay, we have a lot of great people in that space that have a lot of talents outside of their spiritual work. So it's a great way to immediately grow your network of witchpreneurs. So definitely consider joining the bunker. The link is already in the description. I'm going to drop it again down in the comments for all of the YouTube folks to make it even easier to get to. But I want to see you guys in the bunker. It's really the best place for you to start. Yes, where do you find the bunker? It is in the description, but I'll drop it in the comments too once I hop off. But if you want to find the link right now, just go to the description of this video. It is there. Oh, wonderful. You got a reading from me on live? Yes, 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 yes. It's been an evolution, right? So I'm taking you all along with me on this ride. So thank you so much for being here for all of this time. And if you enjoy getting readings from me, every month I am doing tea and tarot again. Tea and tarot is back. So for the full moons, I will be live. The next one is going to be Tuesday on the 8th at 10 p.m. I will be live here on YouTube for a collective reading for the full moon, focusing on our careers, our business, and our finance. And then the second part of the live is exclusive to the bunker members. So we will say goodbye to YouTube and we will go into the bunker privately. And all of the bunker witches will be able to ask their individual questions of me and I will pull cards for them. We did it this way last month and it was so much fun. So I'm going to keep doing it this way. I think it's really great. It's a great way for me to read for my YouTube family because I don't want to leave you guys out, but give individual readings to my bunker family where we're more intimate and you can ask more personal questions. So I definitely hope to see you in the tea and tarot on Tuesday, and join the bunker if you want to be able to ask me personal one-on-one questions in the tea and tarot live Tuesday at 10 p.m. We have weekly refuel sessions. Next week, we will not be having one because I will be out of town, honey. So we will have tea and tarot, and then we'll be back the week after. And when we are back the week after, the topic is money magic, building multiple revenue streams. Please, before we meet in 2 weeks for our next weekly refuel, do not come up with another service. Do not come up with another product. Do not get another certification. Wait until that live, okay? Because we have a tendency to create what I call diner menus, where we are like, oh my God, I'm not making any money doing tarot. So now I have to learn Reiki. And I'm not making any money teaching Reiki or doing Reiki. So now I have to learn herbalism. And now nobody's buying my medicines. And so now I have to do sound bowl. Child, you are going to drive yourself crazy and your clients aren't going to know what the hell to sign up for. All right. And you're not going to become an expert in any of those things. So don't do that. So before you make another service, another product, or get another certification, please join the bunker, be a part of the weekly refuel in 2 weeks. I am going to show you how you can create multiple revenue streams from whatever services or products you already have. I promise you, you're just not monetizing what you already do in the right ways in order to be able to generate enough revenue from them. Okay. We're going to talk about passive ways. We're going to talk about more active ways, but you are not going to need to come up with another service or product. That is my promise to you. All right. All right, witches, if you're on YouTube, I am going to head out now. All of the details for everything I just mentioned are down in the description. I want to see you in the bunker or in a confirmation call with me if you don't know where to start. And I'm going to be taking one-on-one questions from folks in the bunker right now. That's just one of the many perks of being in the bunker. You get to kind of be behind the scenes and really interact one-on-one so that we can get right to the nitty-gritty of whatever's going on in your business. All right. So again, I am Ali Kravitz, aka Bronx Witch. I am the founder of Witchwork, the only co-working space for spiritual entrepreneurs, and the CEO of BetterWitch Coaching, my class and coaching program for baby witches that want to become better witches, teaching on spirituality and spiritual entrepreneurship. You're in the right place if any of those things are interesting to you. We have weekly refuel sessions, podcast episodes here on YouTube, and the bunker is where you want to go if you want to start connecting with me and all of the other witchpreneurs in this space in real life. All right. Drop your comments, like, subscribe, do all the good things over on YouTube, and I will see you all in the next one. Blessed be.